Hello and welcome back to Debit Credit Done, the podcast for aspiring accountants, students, and anyone looking to make sense of the world of accounting. I'm your host, Dean, and today's episode is all about the very foundation of double entry bookkeeping, debits and credits. Specifically, we're going to look at the DEAD CLIC theory. If you've ever stared blankly at a trial balance or wondered why your tutor keeps banging on about debits going on the left and credits on the right, this episode is for you. Let's get into it. So accounting is all about keeping track of where money is going and where it's coming from. And the way we do that is through the double entry bookkeeping system. Every transaction affects at least two accounts. And for each debit, there must be an equal credit. That's exactly why it's called double entry. Think of it like a set of scales. Every time you add weight to one side, you've got to account for that change on the other side. If the books don't balance, something's clearly gone wrong. So how do we remember what goes where? That's where our handy acronym DEAD CLIC comes in. So let's break it down. DEAD CLIC is a memory aid to help you remember which type of accounts are debited and which type of accounts are credited. So DEAD. DEAD stands for debit, expense, asset, drawings. So when you're dealing with any of those types, an expense being paid, buying a new laptop for the office, which is an asset, or the owner taking money out of the business, i.e. drawings, those accounts are increased with a debit entry. On the other hand, CLIC stands for credit, liability, income, capital. So if we're seeing an increase in any of those items, such as taking out a loan, which is a liability, making a sale to a customer, income, or the owner invested capital into that business, these accounts are all increased with a credit entry. Sounds simple, right? So DEAD CLIC isn't just some funny sounding phrase that I and fellow tutors make up as we go along. It's your go-to way of remembering the core rules of double entry accounting. So how's this relevant for AAT? So if you are studying AAT, specifically at levels 2 and 3, DEAD CLIC is absolutely essential. It's the backbone of what you're doing in your bookkeeping modules, in financial accounting, and even when you get into management accounting or tax. Here's why. Understanding journals and ledgers. When you get onto that, you're going to need to record transactions correctly. One wrong debit or credit will throw it all off. Well, your trial balance won't balance. Your financial statements are now incorrect. Yeah. What about AAT assessments? So in tackling AAT assessments, AAT exams very often require students to post entries or analyse account movements. If you know DEAD CLIC, you won't be second guessing yourself. Using DEAD CLIC helps to build real world confidence. When you're in the workplace or doing work experience, no one wants to see you hesitate when deciding where to put a payment or an invoice. DEAD CLIC gives you that instinctive confidence and guide to how to post those entries. So let's try a few quick examples. So a business buys some office stationery for £100 paid from their bank account. So stationery is an expense. So we're going to debit stationery. Bank's an asset. However, we're decreasing that asset. So we want to credit the asset rather than debit it. DEAD CLIC helps us to get that spot on. Second example then, an owner introduces £1,000 cash into the business. Cash is an asset. We're increasing that asset, so we're going to debit it. Capital is again increasing, and because we're crediting capital, increasing it, we're going to credit that entry. Again, DEAD CLIC. The better you know it, the faster you work and with the fewer errors. Now, lots of students make the mistake of thinking debit equals bad, credit equals good, because that's how we use the terms in everyday banking. But in the accounting world, they're both neutral, and they're just tools for categorising transactions. And the key thing, do not just memorise DEAD CLIC. Learn how to apply it. Look at every single transaction and ask yourself what accounts are affected. Are these accounts increasing or decreasing? Is it a dead or is it a click account? And practice makes perfect. The more real-world examples you work through from past papers, from Kaplan, Osborne workbooks, or even mock-its, the more confident you will be in applying these principles. So there you have it. Dead click, demystified, broken down. It might sound simple, but it is the most important skill in AAT. It's incredibly powerful. Think of it as the grammar of accounting. Once you've mastered dead click, you can speak the language of accounting. If you found today's episode useful or got your own way of remembering debits and credits, I'd love to hear from you. You can reach out to me in the comments below or out on socials, or via the comments pages on all of our various podcast facilities. And don't forget, Debit Credit Done is here to help you every step of your way through your accounting journey. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch up with you in the next episode.